Deftones, Beware, Guitar Tabs, and Guitar Lesson. I'll play through all the different sections right at the start here. After that, I'll go back through, give all the explanation for it. Before we get into the lesson, please hit that subscription button. It's the best way of letting me know that you enjoy this video and want to see more like it. And with all that business out of the way, let's dive on in. Alright, so for this one, we're in a drop C tuning, C, G, C, F, A, D, and we'll kick it off by doing the little keyboard intro. And basically, we're just hanging out here, going between a couple notes, and it's 6th fret on the 2nd string here, and 7th on the 3rd string, and we're just going right between those. Alright, verse gets going, and we get some cool little arpeggiation with the guitar. It's kind of playing around with like a E flat, sharp 11 type vibe, and then it goes to a C minor add 9 thing. But just kind of the same spot, nothing like super wild. We're right here at the 5 on the 3rd string, 7 on the 4th string, and we're just going to go between that, a few times. We go 5, 7, 5, 7, back to the 5, and after we hit that final 5, we come down and hit an open 2nd string, and then from that spot, we move up to our C minor add 9 there, where we just basically put down the 7 on the 3rd string, 6 on the 2nd string. All right, and we go 6 on the 2nd string, 7 on the 3rd, back to the 6, and then we hit an open 1st string. So slowly here, the whole thing. Okay, the end of the verse, and I guess you could say this is kind of the pre-chorus. Oddly enough, this is mostly just kind of like a keyboard thing Stephen Carpenter's doing there, and we can add in some bass notes just to make it sound a little cooler here. So we'll basically just be going between these two chromatic notes here, the 6 on the 5th string and the open 4th string. So they're just right next to each other, and it just sounds really dissonant, So essentially, we just want to go between that 6 to open, 6 to open, and keep that going. But we can throw in the bass note with it to make it sound cool. So we get like our E flat vibe there at the 3rd fret of the low C here. So we just hit that together with that 6 on the 5, and then we can pick between, as we're letting that ring, pick between the 6, open, 6, open, 6, open. And then all we have to do is just lift off of it, and we can add an open low C with that 6, and then go between the 6, open, 6, open. So slowly here, it'd be something like this. And into the chorus, initially we can hit a big bass note with this. It's just kind of a big C suspended second chord where we'll hit the open low C, but for the most part we're hitting these like octave vibes pretty high here, and we'll be at the 12 on that fifth string, a 14 to get that octave on the third string here, and then we even kind of want to mix in this 12 on the first string if we can get it, so we kind of got this skipping a string thing going on here. But like I said, we can hit the open low C with that and just kind of strum that out. And then from that spot, we don't really mess with the bass notes too much. We kind of let the bass handle it from there. At this point, where we're going to drop down and we're just going to do this E flat now at the 8 on the fifth string and the 10 on the third string here. And we just strum that. Come back to our initial C suspended second that we did the first there. And then after that, we basically do like a E flat suspended second here now, where all we're going to do is just drop down to the 10 on the fifth string and the 12 on the third string. So just slowly hear the chord shapes. Cool bridge riff here. We're just kind of playing with some octaves here, and start here at the 5s on the low C and the middle C here, the 4th string and the 6th string. And this is just bumping up to an F basically. And with this, we're going to strum it 1, 2, once more, do a couple together, once more. So just kind of this loose, kind of sporadic shuffling going on. And then we just cap that off by doing the 5-3 opens. And after that, we just drop down to a 4 on the 5th string, do the octave at the 6 on the 3rd string. This will get us into like a B. And we just strum that out. And then the very last one of the 8 that we do, we just bump it up 5 and 7 and make it a C real quick. And essentially we just repeat the initial 5s, pull it off, and then hit the 4 and 6 and let that ring, and that'll get us into our kind of build up from the bridge, which is basically just the end of the verse, but we don't really worry about the bass notes. We just hang out between that 6 on the 5 and the open 4th string. And once we get to the last chorus, things just kind of get into big power chords, really. We just want it to sound a lot bigger. So basically, we just come off to an open low C power chord by just hitting the open C, G, C. And from there, we just land on 3s for that E flat power chord. And we can go between that for a good handful of times. But at the very end of it, instead of doing those 3s, we just want to come up and do that octave at the 10 and 12 with the 5th and 3rd string there. All right, and at this point, Stephen Carpenter basically starts playing guitar, so we get a little spot here where there's a F sharp tuning going on, where one little chord gets grabbed pretty low, but we can also grab it here, just not in that same super low octave. But I think if you want to just stick with the drop C tuning all the way, this is the way to go. And basically, we're just coming off to a couple open low C power chords. We hit the 1st fret for that C sharp, come back off to the opens, and then we do this quick little 6, 5, 1 open. All right, do the initial little section again, the couple opens, 1 open, and then this is that chord where on the super 7 string, 8 string, we would hit this lower, but at this point we can hit it and it sounds just fine. Basically, we just hit 8s here, and then from there we repeat it. And after we do that a couple times, the Chino guitar, basically, he just comes up and he just does this little like garnish on top of it with some dissonant notes, and it's just the 10 on the third string with a 12 on the first string, and you can just strum it out, make a little noise with it, just kind of improvise a little bit, and should be just fine.